Welcome to New School of Architecture and Design. This is the info session for the Interior Architecture and Design program at New School. My name is Elena Pacenti, and I serve as the Dean of the School of Design. I graduated in architecture at the Polytechnic University of Milan, and I continued my studies pursuing a Ph.D. in industrial design. I then joined Domus Academy, a prestigious school in Milan, teaching design graduate to students all over the world. And as head of the department, I joined NewSchool and to start this department of the design programs.
Hi, everyone. My name is Denise Homme, and I'm an associate professor in the Interior Architecture and Design program at NewSchool. I am a graduate of North Dakota State University. I received my Bachelor of Arts there in the design program, and I later went on to earn my Master's of Arts and my Ph.D. in Interior Design at the University of Minnesota. I'm also a practicing interior designer. I've been practicing and have my own firm and have since 1969. And I have always, during that time, stayed in some way in academia. And currently, I'm very happy to be part of the program at NewSchool. And I look forward to sharing some of the students' achievements with you and telling us a little more about us.
The Interior Design Architecture and Design program was founded at NewSchool in 2013, and that since we grew a lot, and we already graduated 6 cohorts of students counting this spring. Why Interior Architecture and Design at NewSchool? We think we have some unique assets in this program that we want to present you. The first one is we believe that teaching interior in a context and in proximity of a School of Architecture is a unique feature where students can learn about interiors, but in strict collaboration with architects, construction managers, engineers, and the designers of all the other disciplines. And this is a way to anticipate what happens in the profession. So what we try to do at the school is to really simulate the professional environment and expose the students to the complexity and the beauty of designing with the other stakeholders. We also believe that design of interior environments has to follow the evolution of society and has to possibly support successful and compelling user experiences in everything that we do in our daily lives. So in the program, we really consider and design for all typologies, from residential to commercial to public spaces to workspaces, hospitals, and everything that relates to interiors. We also champion positive industry partnership for students to learn and collaborate with design professionals. The full faculty is composed by professional practitioners in the field that bring their experiences in the classroom and really create this connection during the school. And also, we offer more classes and a dynamic international faculty and some study abroad opportunities. The small classes is a characteristic of studying design in strict relationship with the instructors and with a very personalized interaction. Our mission is to nurture innovative and inspired designers able to conceive, plan, and detail interior environments that support and enhance user experience. Let's watch a couple of seconds of this video that was filmed at NewSchool.
I think to be a NewSchool student, I feel very honored, and I feel that I'm always being helped by either the faculty or, administration, even career service, which is great. Coming towards the end of my NewSchool career, I feel ready for what I'm about to do in the future as a professional, and I feel that the school's ready to prep me. I don't really feel much fear going into the real world at this point at all, because just overall I feel like I'm being well-rounded by the school.
The program is structured in 4 years, considering 3/4 of full attendance. The first year is what we call Design Foundations, where the students practice principle and learn and practice principle of design and design culture and design thinking and all the bases that are all at the basis of all design disciplines. And also the fundamental skills like drawing, visualizing, measuring, modeling, and human scales and human factors. During the second year, students learn the fundamental subjects such as building system and structures, lighting design, materials and CAD and 3D rendering softwares, and all the essential components of design, and develop a studio project of interior spaces of limited complexity. In the third year, students refine the knowledge in programming and space planning and detailing interior environment, and they design in the studio classes more complex environment, exploring commercial, public, residential, and other typologies, and apply what they learn in terms of technical and design knowledge. We also touch upon sustainability issues and environmental psychology and everything that can help design more successful environment and better user experiences. The fourth year is basically dedicated to the development of the final projects, where the students apply all the knowledge and skills to the typology of they are passionate about. So we help them create and develop their voice and their personality in design, and show the depth, the breadth, and the depth of what they learned as interior designers. Let's go through some examples of work with the students.
The first example that you're looking at is a project done by a second-year student. This project was contextualized within a retired NCIDQ examination. As a result of that, it was rather stringent. NCIDQ is set up for students that have completed a 4-year program, and I was excited that my second-year students rose to the challenge. And the program for this project involved using a specific site, a specific base plan, and a very detailed and disciplined program, which meant that the students had to not only look at the broad generalities of organizing space, but also they had to adhere to the placement of furnishings that were defined by number of furnishings and dimension of furnishings. And then, of course, as you can see by this example, they were expected to create their aesthetic concept around their design decisions. And one of the program requirements was the adjacency or access to a lounge area, which had to be connected to a retail space in some way, both visually and physically, as well as to the wine tasting. This is an example from that same project of the retail space. And so this was really a mixed use outcome. It involved retail, essentially retail and hospitality, various levels of hospitality. So it was a very successful and fun project. I was excited about what the students did.
Hospitality is one of the typology that we explore a lot. There's a lot of business in interiors nowadays in this sector. A lot of firm and design firms in California and San Diego are busy in hospitalities with the scene of restaurants and hotels that is growing. And this project was actually developed, this is a third-year project, developed with Gensler, Newport Beach. Melissa Peel was the instructor, and we collaborated with the architects of the studio to create the interior solutions for a very complex master plan. And we focused on the areas, restaurants and hospitality and lobby and reception areas, as well as some of the units for the resort. And this is another example of hospitality that the year after, on the same studio project, third year, explored hospitality in all its complexity.
This project is a third-year project. For this particular quarter, my students used the competition guidelines for the NEWH 2019-2020 adaptive hotel reuse. It was a very interesting project in which the students had to utilize either LEED certification as the basis for their design or WELL certification. This student team chose to use WELL, and I guess the format for this was they had to choose an existing building within, it could be anywhere on the planet. The priority was that the building was not being used by anyone for hospitality space. And so they had to build a collaborative between the interior and the existing architecture in a way that they could build a biophilic element as well as other wellness elements. And so what you're seeing here is a view of the interior atrium space of their design concept, which of course is biophilic. The next project is a real exciting, and it's a collaborative studio that we do every spring quarter, in which the third-year interior design students collaborate in a studio setting with the fourth-year architecture students. Prior to this class session, during fall and winter quarters, the architects are working on a architectural project that is a real project. This year, we're doing a real exciting one that involves the Kendall Marsh Swamp here in San Diego. This particular project involved the Moreno Boulevard. It was a multi-housing community, and the really beautiful aspect of this project is not only are the interior students able to collaborate with architecture students in the development of the space, the interiors, as well as the interface of the interior and the exterior of these buildings, but they were also able to, and it was actually their task as part of their design team, to build the interior experience essentially. And so you're seeing one example of that. This is actually, this is the same student, just a different view. So very exciting project, and the opportunity, this is from that same class. This is a different student team. And so you can see that dependent upon the development of the architecture per the team itself, each of the projects was really quite different. This project was interesting in that all of these multi-housing units had to be connected with one another. So architecturally, they had to have a similar story. But then from the interior standpoint, they could be, they could actually take that deeper. So really a fantastic project.
Every year, at the beginning of the final year or the fourth year, as last studio project before the final capstone or thesis project, we approach the design for healthcare, which is a very important part of the curriculum, because not only it exposes students to a very complex environment to design for, but also because the students have the opportunity to apply evidence-based design and environmental psychology to really improve the quality of life of patients and doctors and nurses in the hospitals. The approach is very interesting. We start every year we design a complex the patient rooms building, and we started from inside out. So from the room of the patient, and trying to understand what could improve the life and the stay of the patient in the room, until the floor, the complex functions that have to live in the patient room's floor, until the areas of welcoming and dining and waiting and family rooms and other parts that are those that people visiting actually have to use. Through the collaboration with the Cunningham Group, we can really apply the knowledge of the evidence-based design to real spaces and real knowledge on what are the limitations and the codes relative to hospitals, but also to trying to really improve what the experience of users in hospitals can be. Another typology that we explore often is retail. And this is an example of a project for the redesign of the Strand in New York. It's one of the most iconic bookstores on the planet. And in collaboration with Ron Pompei and C3, the students actually develop complex understanding of what the dynamic of retail are, and they transform it in solutions. Another example of this was a project for Billabong, and a store for the famous surf brand located in Santa Barbara. So not only the brand identity of Billabong had to be present in the store, but also the atmospheres and the characters and the soft qualities of what the environment and the specific traits of Santa Barbara are. And I'd like to conclude with a couple of project examples of final projects when students graduate. This is an example of a final project developed with Jorge Zorno in 2018. The student chose to design for the adaptive reuse of an existing abandoned building. It was a library in Auckland, in a very difficult area of the city, and decided to develop a program to actually create a community center based on boxing, which sounds contradictory, but actually is proven that it helps youth in certain situations. And the design was a complete redefinition of the building, and it gave the building a new life. As you can see, our students arrived to the final here with no fear about touching architecture or adapting architecture to the new function and of the buildings. Another example of a very ambitious adaptive reuse was this final project the year after spring 2019. And in this case, the student chose to work on a very famous Irving Gill building in La Jolla, in San Diego, and gave a new life to this building by creating a gastronomy center. So basically, the student created kitchen and the labs for the molecular gastronomy happen, and converted the building in a new set of restaurants and places to learn and experience food.
This is another example, an example of construction drawings that were taken from my NEWH project that I mentioned earlier. You saw some other materials, student materials on this. As you can see, we don't just concentrate on visualizing what a space looks like, but also how it fits together. As I mentioned, this project was one in which the students had to either choose an existing building, or if they did choose an existing building, they could either use the building as is or they could add on to it. This team chose to use the Ralph's grocery store in downtown San Diego, which meant that they had to leave the ground floor, which is where the grocery store is located, and then they built their hotel space above that, which meant that they had to think about vertical connection points and getting the end user to the lobby space and beyond. And so this was a really wonderful iteration of vertical circulation. As you can see by my building systems class, this is an example of the final 3D study model, that we're also very focused on architecture in a different sort of way, and that has to do with how building systems integrate with interior spaces. And as you can see, based upon the depth of information that our seniors provide, this second year class provides students with an understanding and awareness of the fact that interiors don't just occur in a vacuum. They connect with the architecture in a lot of very significant ways through a fixed water supply system, through a fixed electrical system, and through fixed ventilation systems, just to mention the basics, as well as, and you can see in the small model to the far right, that also how all the layers of finish interface with not only the physical structure, but with the interior space. And so classes like these, in which students get the opportunity to think and do and make things, certainly is I think, very helpful to understand the volumetrics of space and really the kinds of challenges that interior designers are confronted with when we actually go into a real interior, a real space, and have to create an environment.
At the school, we try to offer students also possibility and opportunities to study abroad. We believe that design needs to expand to the experience of to other places, cities, cultures. The diversity is a very good source of inspiration for designers. These are examples of the study abroad in Milan that we were able to offer. 2018 was based on the Design Week and the Furniture Fair in Milan. And the year before, also with the collaboration with Domus Academy, we sent a group of students from 3 programs down to Milan. Every year we renew the possibility and the opportunity of studying abroad, and they can change and vary every year.
One of the really exciting things about a degree in design, interior architecture and design, is all the things that you can do with it. What you're seeing here is what I would refer to as a short list, because just thinking about residential interiors and commercial interiors by themselves, there are so many things that you can do within those venues. Interior designers and interior architects oftentimes work in both arenas. Retail design, of course, store layout and outfitting, branding and identity. Healthcare design, so important now with the demographics of our population changing so much as people are getting older. Exhibit and event design, also another heavy hitter in many businesses. And of course, furniture and product design. I have friends that are textile designers, and so having achieved a degree in interiors, they never thought that that would be the direction that this industry would take them. And then, of course, we have back of house support folks that benefit by having a degree in interiors because they understand what the needs are. And this could include space planners, renderers and illustrators, as well as schedulers and managers of the project and of the construction aspect of the project. So really the sky is the limit, which brings me always to the idea of, have you ever thought about designing the interiors of private jets or yachts, for example? So that's a whole part of the industry too that is certainly something that could be considered and tapped into.
With this, I think we concluded our session. And so please, if you want to learn more about NewSchool and about the program, visit the website, call the number or email enrollment. And for any questions to us, Denise and myself will be able and happy to answer. And our colleagues will forward your questions to us. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, everyone. We look forward to seeing you at NewSchool.
Bye-bye.